Okay, we've got 2 o'clock. We're going to get started. Welcome to the Comstock Public Schools High School and Pine Island Tennis Court bid opening. There are 20 bid categories. We will start with bid category 1. There are 2 bid alternates, which we will read. We will acknowledge any clarifications for voluntary alternates, but we will not read the numbers. If there's no bid security, your bid will not be read. No personal checks will be accepted. Reach out to Autumn Loan afterwards if you have any questions. We'll be conducting post-bid interviews with the apparent low bidders. If we deem it necessary, we may contact the next bidder. Do not contact the owner or the architect. We will contact you, and we will have bid results posted by tomorrow at noon. And get started with bid category 1, demolition. Specialized Demolition Incorporated, base bid $99,500. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. ProTech Environmental Incorporated, base bid $154,000 even. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Extreme Demolition Incorporated, base bid $197,900. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And Pitch Companies, base bid $586,700. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 2 earthwork, Fisher Idema Excavating, base bid $1,214,300. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is a deduct of $1,500. Epic Excavating, base bid $1,164,364. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $1,204. Top Grade Site Management, base bid $797,200. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $12,900. John W. Potter, base bid $1,050,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1, I'm going to read it as an add of $2,500. Sitework Solutions, base bid $857,165. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $7,500. Dean's Landscaping and Excavating, base bid $825,324. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $1,770. Kentwood Excavating, base bid $898,800. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $5,750. Affordable Excavating, base bid $957,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $16,500. They have a voluntary alternate. Redline Excavating, base bid $970,500. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $5,800. They have a voluntary alternate. Bid category 3, landscaping, integrity landscape management, base bid $51,950. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Horax Nursery Farms, base bid $40,400. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. J&F Lawn and Snow Service, base bid $24,700. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is a deduct of $740. Landscape Design Services, base bid $46,975. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Twin Lakes Nursery, base bid $63,840. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2. Summit Landscape Management, base bid $48,770.36. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2 and 3. Bid category 4, concrete. Burgess Concrete Construction, base bid $887,600. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $10,630. Cannon Concrete Construction, base bid $1,029,575. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $8,025. Gelsma Concrete, base bid $985,000 even. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $9,800. Kent Companies, base bid $1,263,616. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $2,750. Choice Concrete, base bid $1,004,980. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate C1 is an add of $5,880. Bid category 5, fencing, straight line fence, base bid $240,145. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. They have a voluntary alternate. John Blau, base bid $231,801.38. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3, and they have a voluntary alternate. Bid category 6, tennis court surfacing, racket sports, base bid $154,844. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 7, masonry, integrated exteriors, base bid $1,302,525. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. JK Masonry, base bid $1,183,125. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Brigade Masonry, base bid $1,107,894. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 8, metals, FCC Construction, base bid $437,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Van Dellen Steel, base bid $387,700. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bennett Steel, $383,840. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Custom Steel, base bid $419,200. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Structural Steel Services, base bid $490,000. $500. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're taking one step back here, back to bid category 1 for demolition. We did have a bid from Muskegon Quality Builders. Base bid, $163,500. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Bid category 9, casework, FCI Group. Base bid, $373,200. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. NEIS Collective, base bid, $265,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 10, general trades, Muskegon Quality Builders, base bid, $206,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. They do have qualifications. JKB Construction, base bid, $159,800. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Triangle Constructors, base bid, $181,200. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2. Vandercote Construction, base bid, $230,000. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2. Bid category 11, roofing, Versatile Roofing Systems, base bid, $298,985. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Summit Point Roofing, base bid, $308,495. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. C&I Building Maintenance, base bid, $346,365. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Hoekstra Roofing Company, base bid, $279,900. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. J. Stevens Construction, base bid, $332,200. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 12, joint sealants, CJ's Coating and Sealants. Base bid, $29,414. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 13, doors, frames, and hardware, S.A. Norman and Company. Base bid, $144,270. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. They have voluntary alternates. Automatic Equipment Sales and Service, base bid, $131,260. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 14, aluminum, glass, and glazing, Lakeshore Glass and Metals, base bid, $84,360. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Voss Glass, base bid, $107,500. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Grand Valley Glass, base bid, $74,500. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3, and they have a voluntary alternate. Bid category 15, lath, plaster, drywall, and acoustical. Ritzma Associates, base bid, $432,990. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3, and they have a clarification. Shepherd's Brothers Company, base bid, $399,816. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 16, flooring and hard tile, Omega Floors, base bid, $878,000 even. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. GLFC Incorporated, base bid, $539,420. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Sobe Company, base bid $493,670. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Lansing Tile and Mosaic, base bid $558,477. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. River City Flooring, $436,640. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Ritzma Associates, base bid $536,870. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 17, gymnasium flooring, Star Flooring, base bid $149,000. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2. Foster Specialty Floors, base bid $184,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3, and they have alternates and clarifications. Bid category 18, painting, H&H Painting, base bid $118,375. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bork Brothers Painting, base bid $188,500. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Rivertown Painting, base bid $226,440.35. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Galveston Painting, base bid $139,549. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And they have clarifications. And Halligan Painting, base bid $179,400. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And they have a voluntary alternate. Bid category 19, signage, Universal Sign, base bid $27,658. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Midwest Sign Company, base bid $23,000 even. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Valley City Sign Company, base bid $22,723.15. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Postma Signs and Graphics, base bid $29,450. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 20, Visual Display Units, Architectural Systems Group, base bid $16,600. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2. Bid category 21, Athletic Equipment, C&M Associates, base bid $126,475. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2, and they have voluntary alternates. Behrman and Associates, base bid $92,518. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3, and they have a voluntary alternate. Partition Systems, base bid $125,950. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Okay, bid category 22, Telescoping Bleachers, Intercal, base bid $23,880. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 23, Food Service Equipment, Great Lakes West, base bid $276,335. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Merchandise Equipment and Supply, base bid $272,874. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Stafford Smith, base bid $293,799. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Bid category 24, fire protection, total fire protection, base bid, $63,555. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And they have voluntary alternates. Triad fire suppression, base bid, $187,695. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And they have a voluntary alternate. Blaze fire protection, base bid, $198,200. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2. Brigade fire protection, base bid, $243,592. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3, and they have a voluntary alternate. Bid category 25, DDC controls, trained, base bid, $1,006,876. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And they have qualifications and clarifications. Bid category 26, mechanical and plumbing, right way plumbing and heating, base bid, $6,980,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of $48,675. DHE plumbing and mechanical, base bid $6,340,000. They acknowledge addendums 1 and 2. Alternate M1 is an add of $62,400, and they have voluntary alternates. Advantage mechanical refrigeration, base bid $6,553,700. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of $35,300. A and B mechanical contractors, base bid $6,750,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of $51,800. Northwest Kent Mechanical, base bid $6,188,900. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of $48,000. Loon Service Company, base bid $6,534,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of $43,000. They have a voluntary alternate. Bid category 27, testing and balancing, air economics. Base bid $32,700. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And they have a voluntary alternate. Control Solutions $29,990. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of $2,900, and they have a voluntary alternate. Third Coast Test and Balance, base bid $31,590. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of $1,750. International Test and Balance, base bid $193,470. Not see any acknowledgments of addendum, and I do not see anything for the alternates. Bid category 28, commissioning, FISEC LLC, base bid $33,300. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of 2,700. Control Solutions, base bid, 20,700. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. Alternate M1 is an add of 2,500. And bid category 29, electrical and communications. Circuit Electric, base bid, $2,027,575. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And they have a voluntary alternate. And Allied Electric, base bid, $1,684,000. They acknowledge addendums 1, 2, and 3. And they have voluntary alternates. And that concludes our bid opening. Thank you very much, and we'll be reaching out to the